Let me start with something that should be obvious, but apparently needs to be said. Charlie Kirk's murder was wrong. Full stop. No one should be killed for their political views, no matter how much you disagree with them. Murder is murder, and it's a tragedy for his family. But now that I've said that, let's talk about what's actually happening here, because the situation with Erika Kirk demands some honest scrutiny. A few days ago, Erika appeared on Fox News' Outnumbered to address conspiracy theories about her husband's death. She was emotional, she was angry, and she asked, repeatedly, to be left alone. "Can I have one thing?" she pleaded. She wants privacy for her family, for her children, for where Charlie is buried. She doesn't want to deal with the noise, the conspiracies, the accusations. And here's the thing. On a human level, I understand that impulse. Grief is difficult. Losing your spouse to violence is unimaginable. Having people speculate about the circumstances must be agonizing. But let's look at what's actually happening here. Because Erika Kirk isn't just a private citizen asking to be left alone. She's not quietly grieving away from the public eye. She's taken over the Charlie Kirk Show, a daily podcast with millions of listeners. She's on a book tour promoting Charlie's last book. She's now the CEO of Turning Point USA, one of the most prominent conservative organizations in America. She's making constant media appearances. Just days ago, she was on television telling young women who voted for progressive politician Zohran Mamdani that they need to get husbands and have kids instead of relying on government programs. That statement, by the way, is basically an endorsement of what Nick Fuentes said, that women shouldn't have the right to vote. She's out here making deeply political, deeply controversial statements about women's roles in society. Her organization just got a professor in Oklahoma University put on administrative leave for giving an F to a student who wrote batshit Christian nationalist propaganda in a psychology paper. But she wants to be left alone? You can't have it both ways. You cannot maintain one of the most prominent platforms in conservative media, run a major political organization, go on speaking tours, and claim you just want privacy and to be left alone to grieve. And let's talk about the hypocrisy of her actual positions. Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA built their entire brand on traditional gender roles. Women should stay home. Women should focus on being wives and mothers, not pursuing careers. They spent years telling young women that feminism destroyed America, that women need to return to traditional values, that a woman's place is in the home raising children. So where's Erika? Is she at home with her kids, practicing what she preached? No. She's running a multi-million-dollar organization. She's hosting a daily radio show. She's on TV constantly. She's giving speeches. She's building what she calls a museum-style memorial at Turning Point USA headquarters. She is doing exactly what her movement tells other women not to do. She's pursuing a high-powered career while telling other women they should stay home. That's not just hypocrisy, it's breathtaking hypocrisy. Now let's address the conspiracy theories she's so upset about. Here's what's fascinating. These theories aren't coming from the left. They're not coming from progressives or Democrats or people who oppose Charlie politically. They're coming from inside the house. Candace Owens, supposedly Charlie's best friend, one of the biggest names in conservative media, is pushing conspiracy theories about his death. Milo Yiannopoulos has made wild claims, including that Charlie was gay and that he and Erika were about to divorce. These are people from Charlie's own movement, his own circle. And you know what? This is the ecosystem Charlie Kirk helped build. This is the monster he created. Apart from being a racist, misogynist, xenophobe, Islamophobe, homophobe, and transphobe, Charlie was a conspiracy theorist as well. He was one of the loudest voices spreading COVID denialism, telling people the virus wasn't serious, that masks didn't work, that vaccines were dangerous. How many people died because they listened to Charlie Kirk's medical misinformation? We'll never know the exact number, but we know it wasn't zero. He promoted wild conspiracy theories about the Paul Pelosi attack. When an intruder broke into Nancy Pelosi's home and attacked her elderly husband with a hammer, fracturing his skull, Charlie suggested it was something else entirely. He actually encouraged his viewers to donate to the attacker's legal defense fund so the guy could be bailed out and investigated, implying the attacker might have been Paul Pelosi's lover. This was a violent home invasion, and Charlie turned it into a homophobic conspiracy theory. Charlie Kirk taught his audience to see conspiracies everywhere, to trust nothing, to assume the worst, to believe that every tragic event has some hidden agenda, some cover-up, some secret truth that they don't want you to know. And now that same conspiratorial thinking has turned on his family. The people he radicalized, the culture he cultivated, it's eating itself. And yes, that's tragic, but it's also entirely predictable. This is what happens when you build a movement on paranoia and conspiracy theories. Eventually, it turns on everyone, including you. And let's not forget who Charlie Kirk actually was. This is a man who said that empathy was a made-up word. Let that sink in. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. He called it fake, made up, not real. This is someone who said that school shootings and dead children were an acceptable cost for his right to own guns. Children dying in their classrooms was just the price of freedom to him. He built his career on cruelty, on punching down, on making people angry and afraid. He targeted college students through Turning Point USA, creating watch lists of professors, trying to get people fired for their political views, harassing students who disagreed with him. So no, I don't have unlimited sympathy here. I'm sorry his children lost their father. I'm sorry his wife lost her husband. No one should be murdered. But I'm not going to pretend Charlie Kirk was anything other than what he was. Someone who built a career on division, misinformation, and cruelty. And Erika? She's not just an innocent bystander. She shares these views. She's just more careful about how she presents them publicly. But make no mistake, she's running Turning Point USA now. That organization is still doing what it always did, targeting students, trying to destroy people's careers, pushing Christian nationalist ideology on college campuses. She chose to step into that role. She chose to continue that mission. She chose to maintain a massive public platform. So when she goes on Fox News and says she just wants to be left alone, asks, "Can I have one thing?" I have to ask, what exactly do you think you're entitled to? You're a public figure running a political organization. You're making inflammatory political statements. You're monetizing your husband's death. And let's be honest, that's what the book tour is. That's what taking over his show is. You're building your own brand on his legacy. You don't get to do all of that and then claim victim status when people criticize you or when the conspiracy culture your husband helped create turns its attention to you. The real story here isn't about left versus right. It's not about progressives attacking a grieving widow. The left isn't spreading these conspiracy theories. Candace Owens is. Milo Yiannopoulos is. People from Charlie's own movement. This is about a toxic ecosystem that's consuming itself. An ecosystem built on conspiracy theories, on outrage, on teaching people to distrust everything and assume the worst about everyone. Charlie Kirk was one of the architects of that ecosystem, and now it's turned on his family. Is that fair? Maybe not. Is it karma? I don't believe in karma. But is it predictable? Absolutely. Until people like Erika Kirk acknowledge the role they played in creating this culture of conspiracy and cruelty, until they take responsibility for the monster they helped build, this will just keep happening. The paranoia will keep spreading. The conspiracy theories will keep multiplying. The movement will keep eating itself. You can't spend years telling people to question everything, trust no one, see conspiracies everywhere, and then act shocked when they question you, don't trust you, and see conspiracies about you. Erika Kirk wants sympathy. She wants privacy. She wants to be left alone. But she also wants power. She wants a platform. She wants to continue her husband's work. She wants to lead a political movement. You don't get both. That's not how this works. If you want to be a private citizen, grieving in peace, step away from the spotlight. Actually practice what you preach. Go home. Focus on your children. Live those traditional values you promote. But if you're going to be CEO of Turning Point USA, if you're going to host a daily show, If you're going to go on TV making political statements about how women should vote and live their lives, then you're a public figure. And public figures get criticized. That's the deal. The tragedy here isn't that Erika Kirk is being scrutinized. The tragedy is that the movement her husband built is so toxic, so steeped in conspiracy and paranoia, that it can't even spare his own family. That's the legacy of Charlie Kirk. He had the mind virus. And that's what Erika has chosen to inherit and continue.